Are you ready, my scream queen?
I am.
Shall we scream?
Yes.
Ah! Okay, we gotta scream for real. Ah!
But she screamed so much better than that.
Who's she?
The original Scream Queen.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yep.
On today's Misty and Ike. Good morning, everybody.
Happy birthday, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Happy birthday, Jamie Lee Curtis. And happy birthday to you in a few days.
A few days.
A couple.
Yeah. Yep.
You and Jamie Lee almost have the same birthday.
Almost.
We're going to find out what else you and Jamie Lee have in common right after we snap our fingers.
Are we ready to begin?
Good morning!
My name is Misty.
Come on, Ike, it's time.
We would be honored if you would join us.
The greatest adventure of all time.
We just become best friends.
Yep!
Come on, let's get in character.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Oh, come on!
And we're back.
We are.
We're back with our best friend, Jamie Lee Curtis. Mm-hmm. The original Scream Queen.
Yeah. So you asked me before we started this. You were like, oh, is that because she's on the show Scream Queens?
Like how she got the name.
Right. And I had to explain to you that the show Scream Queens is actually named kind of after her, not her named after that.
Yeah.
Because she was in the original Halloween movie and throughout the 80s starred in a whole line of horror movies.
A plethora.
And a lot of people call her the original Scream Queen because she was a staple in horror movies for a very long time.
I did feel silly that you had to explain it to me because I did work on the promos for Scream Queens. And I did work with her.
But how would you know?
I don't know.
You know, you can't be expected to know everything.
That was also the day that Ryan Murphy walked onto set. I had no idea who he was. And there's a story there, but that's for another day.
Oh, yeah.
I just treated him like I treat everybody.
Well, yeah,
And he respected that. Because he had 6 people just hovering around him, like kissing his ass.
of course. I mean, the man literally runs Hollywood at this point.
He looked important. I thought he was from Fox. I guess he was.
I thought he was from Fox.
He's like, how's it going? I'm like, we're about an hour and a half behind. He's like, what's the problem? I was like, no problems. Just a large cast. He's like, yeah, there's a shitload of them. He's like, any of them being divas? I was like, not today, sir. He's like, all right, I like you. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Nope.
So she was also, aside from being in Halloween, she was in Prom Night, Terror Train, The Fog, all kinds of good horror movies.
Well,
Prom Night still scares the ever-living bejesus out of me.
Prom night?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Sounds scary.
It's real scary.
So scary that I didn't even go to my prom that night. She was born the daughter of 2 legendary Hollywood actors. Tony Curtis.
One of which is also a Scream Queen in her own right.
Janet Leigh.
Yeah, from Psycho.
Whoa.
Her mom is the mom from Psycho who screams in the shower.
Well, so she's Scream royalty.
They are literally Scream royalty.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's cool, right?
Yeah, all right.
Like super famous parents, but like her mom is from Psycho.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you think that, you think when she was dating anybody, like her significant other would be like, your mom is a psycho? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, she is. She's a psycho.
Wasn't Janet Leigh also in The Birds, the Hitchcock movie?
I feel
think
like
she was.
Hitchcock had an affinity for her. I think there was also some
so.
drama
So, like,
around that relationship.
Oh, maybe.
Let's see here. We're taking a hard left turn onto Janet Leigh's IMDb page real quick.
Real quick. We got to know. I got to know the truth.
Wow, she was in tons of stuff here. Fantasy Island, The Fog, Mirror Mirror, Murder at the World Series, Columbo, Love Story. Here, where are we? We're all the way down to 1970. When did
Psycho was before that. I think it was
Grand Slam, The Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
the originals.
Now we're into the 60s. Bye Bye Birdie. Psycho was in 1960.
Okay.
So would it be before that?
Yeah, The Birds. Yeah, I think so.
The Birds.
I could actually just Google The Birds.
Yeah, that'd probably be a little
see
more
who was in
efficient.
it.
I don't see it on here, but
The Birds cast. It was Tippi Hedren.
Oh.
Sorry, which is Melanie Griffith's mom, who is Dakota Johnson's mom.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Hollywood royalty. Sorry.
Who can know?
I had my Hollywood royalty families mixed up there.
Who could know all that stuff?
well-
That's still cool, though.
Yeah. So, I mean, Tony Curtis was in over 100 movies himself as well.
That
I mean,
is
none of them were Psycho, but...
nuts. I mean, think about just the net worth of Janet Leigh, and then think about his net worth,
Yeah.
and then think about being born into that, and then think about all the money you made on your own.
Right.
And then you inherit all your parents' money. Let's
Yeah.
find out how much Jamie Lee's worth.
And Jamie Lee is married to Christopher Guest. Do you know who Christopher Guest is?
I do. He's in a troupe of people that make the comedy movies.
He's involved with the Eugene Levy's
Yep.
and the
He's a
Best in
genius.
Show
Yeah.
and the Schitt's Creek and all those folks.
It says here that Jamie Lee Curtis is only worth $60 million. And I find that incredibly hard to believe.
I mean, it's very possible that her mom and dad didn't leave her all of their money. You know, I mean, I hate to say it, but like people were very philanthropic with their money back in the 50s and 60s. And like, you know, kind of like helping to, they did stuff with it.
Well, there's
They didn't amass it the way we do now. They spent it.
She has a bajillion brothers and sisters.
That doesn't surprise me.
Kelly Curtis, Allegra Curtis, Alexandra Curtis, Nicholas Curtis, and Ben Curtis. So if she did well on her own, maybe the family spread it out amongst
Yeah, it makes
the
sense.
rest of the fam bam.
Well, it's so her husband, you know, also mockumentary films is what he does. This is Spinal Tap, Waiting for Guffman,
To the Stage,
Best in Show, A Mighty Wind, for your consideration. So he's made some dollars on his side of things as well.
To be precise, he's also worth $60 million. Maybe
Well,
they're
look
worth
at
60 together.
No, I doubt it. I think they're...
That's a $120 million household right there.
Yeah, I believe it.
Let's see.
They adopted their 2 kids, which I think is super cool. They have a girl named Annie and a son named Thomas. And
He also has a child named Ruby Guest.
Ruby or Rudy? Because
Ru-
both names are really cool.
Annie and Ruby.
Annie and Ruby. Rudy.
Ruby.
Ruby?
It doesn't say what are the 2 that you named?
Annie and Thomas.
I don't see a Thomas here under Christopher Guest children.
Adopted in 1996.
Oh, well, the internet just hasn't caught up yet.
Oh, okay.
I got to refresh this page.
Look at her daughter. Her daughter looks like Ellie Goulding, the singer.
Oh, you're
She's
right.
very pretty.
Who's the dude on the left with the stash?
That's their son. Their adopted son. Don't be a dick.
No, but he looks like somebody. He looks like a comedian.
He looks like a character from This Is Spinal Tap.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, completely.
I can't think of the comedian that I'm thinking of right now.
You know what? I see it. You're right. He does look very much like a comedian, and I can't put my finger on who it is, though.
Oh, I can find out. Give me a second.
One of her other big films, because I feel like we would be remiss to not mention it, was Freaky Friday, which is one of the greatest films ever.
Yes.
As well as the hit film most recently, Knives Out.
Yes.
Which was so good.
Yeah.
Talk about bringing murder mystery back in a really great way. Between that and then the Adam Sandler murder mystery movie, man, I'm like, bring back all, like remake Clue, like remake them all. It's awesome.
Oh, you're into the remakes, huh?
I'm into this whole like murder mystery with a dark sense of humor to it. You know?
Okay.
Super into it.
Hold on. Do you
Are
have
you gonna,
that?
did you find the guy?
I did.
Harlan Williams.
I was gonna get a split screen going.
Oh, dang.
Do you have that other guy still up?
I can right there.
Okay, so that's your guy.
Yep. It's Harlan Williams.
That's Harlan Williams.
You're completely right.
It's mostly like this picture right here.
Yeah.
And then that guy.
Absolutely.
And then, oh my gosh.
100%. We should do a mashup of their faces.
I never forget a face.
You don't.
I can always forget your name.
You can, but you remember faces.
I do faces and
Mashup songs.
Songs that sound alike, but I can never remember the lyrics.
Yep.
All right, more about Jamie Lee.
Okay. Can you tell me how much she made for Knives Out?
I can find out.
Okay. I would like to know because Knives Out made $300 million at the box office. And I mean, it was a huge ensemble cast. So I want to know what she individually got paid for that.
Oh, Knives Out was from Netflix, right?
No, it was released in movie theaters.
Oh.
I believe it may have been the last movie that I went to go see before the world closed down.
Well, Netflix just paid $500 million.
Oh, for the
2 and 3.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Which they've already started filming 2. She's not in 2. The only person returning is Daniel Craig. It's a whole different story, whole different family.
Right, but that means they're separately making 2 $250 million movies.
Yeah.
And they're not CG heavy like the Marvel movies.
No.
So what are they going to be, 9 hours apiece?
No, they have. You should see the people that are going to be in it. The cast alone is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I mean, they got Bond starting a whole new, line of movies. Daniel Craig could take this, into his later years, his golden years, being the detective.
Still looking for the cast salary. Other star salaries revealed. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Scrolling. It's not on the list. Good grief. You got to cover for me while I find it.
Okay. Well, this is an interesting fact that I never knew. She is Jake Gyllenhaal's godmother. So she's super close with Jake's parents, director Steven and screenwriter Naomi Foner. Wow. And Paul Newman gave Jake Gyllenhaal his first driving lesson. What a lucky kid.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. She also, I think this is super cool. She's a children's book author. She wrote a book that is a #1 bestseller called Me, My Selfie, and I, A Cautionary Tale. And she has actually penned more than a dozen books. Her first was released in 1993. The New York Times bestselling author even wrote a book in 2 hours. She said, "My books come out of nothing, but it's obviously something I've been thinking about and observing." And she also said that she fell in love at first sight with her husband, Christopher Guest.
Oh.
She saw him on This Is Spinal Tap and told her friend, "I'm going to marry that guy." They've now been married for over 36 years.
That is my favorite thing to hear when people are like, that is my wife.
Yep.
Or my husband.
Yep. It's pretty great. I love this answer as well. Somebody asked her, "What is your secret to a long-lasting marriage?" Her answer was, "Don't get divorced and don't leave."
Don't get divorced. Pretty, all right.
She kind of expounded on that later. She was like, "It's a fascinating thing. I could probably write a book on marriage called Just Don't Leave."
Well, just don't do it.
Just don't leave. I'm like, that makes sense. Just don't leave.
I hate to give up, but there's only 2 minutes left, and it's not giving me what she got paid for it.
All right, that's fair. Fair.
All the articles want to know why Daniel Craig got $100 million for 2 and 3 when the first movie only made $125 million.
The first movie made $300 million.
Domestic box office, $165 million. International box office, 104. It made $312 total.
Okay, there you go. Because the number I got was 300.
Okay. Well, you were wrong by $12 million.
You were wrong by like $2 million and $12.
By your butt.
$2 million and $12, butthole.
Man, I feel like we went on a lot of side tangents on this one.
Well, I mean,
sorry, I just found an interesting thing about her father cut her and her siblings out of his will 5 months before he died.
There you go. That's why. Yep.
Because Jamie Lee's parents divorced in 1962 after 11 years of marriage. After this time, Jamie Lee has said that her late dad, who went on to marry future, he got married 5 more times.
That's a lot. Go Tony Curtis.
Not only that, but after he died, yeah, look at this picture. She looks familiar. Who's that? That's Tony Curtis and some much younger woman.
She's probably not a lot younger. She just had a lot of work done.
Leaving everything to his sixth wife. Oh, that's Jill Vandenberg.
Jill Vandenberg.
Who's 45 years younger than him.
She looks... Okay. How old was he?
I don't know.
Like in his 80s? So that would make her 45 in that picture. She looks like she's 100.
Well, 45 plus 45 is 90. So
right. So that would make her even younger if she's 45 years.
Yeah, she just dyed her hair silver to look older like him.
That's not it. She is very old looking.
Okay.
Very old looking.
Disagree. I agree the math doesn't add up there. But,
Not at all. Not at all.
okay.
Yeah.
Great.
She has an obsession with video games.
Oh, that's cool.
Her son introduced her to the game Street Fighter, and she got so into it that she attended San Diego Comic-Con and BlizzCon and dressed up in a Vega mask.
And
Like, she's super into it.
watch this. She's so into it. She plays World of Warcraft, and she dressed up to go to Comic-Con.
That's amazing.
She
Wow.
attends a number of fan gatherings in disguise.
That's so great.
This is her at the world premiere of the 2016 Warcraft film. Was she in the Warcraft film?
I hope so. After that.
Man,
That was fast.
that was fast. I think I spent most of my time looking up money that I couldn't find for
It's okay.
one
I'm sorry.
of the many
I'm sorry
films
that
she went into.
I asked that question.
It's okay.
I just wanted to.
We'll just have,
wanna know.
there's enough to do a Jamie Lee 2 next year.
There really is. I didn't
Yeah.
realize there was that. She's very multifaceted.
And she was a last minute swap out right before we
She sure
recorded.
was.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Love you, Jamie Lee. You're the best. I didn't even get to tell my TMZ story. We'll save it for year 2.
Yeah. I didn't get to talk about all of her scary movies and blood and stuff.
Should we scream our way out?
Yeah.